I'm Kadir Kalhanaraman, and I'm part of FTC 9974. Today I will be showing you how to sketch in Fusion 360 and how to create a project. To create a project, you say New Project, click it. Now, to update, to insert a document or create a document, you can either do New Design, and that would get rid of this, and then you would save it and you can change the place to anywhere. For this case, let's do sketch. Um, so name your file learning sketch. In learning sketch, we're gonna create this square with the green plus sign right over here. Uh, that is to create a sketch. Right now, I will be teaching you how to uh, know exactly what all of these creating objects do, and some you will really not need under circumstances, and some are very self-explanatory. So I do not need to repeat it. These are very important. So let's get on with the creating part. In a line, which is probably the most important thing in sketching, is the line. Right now, you can click your origin point, and then you can have any uh, length of a line. So if you want a 4 millimeter line, you can have a 4 millimeter line. You can really have any length you want, length, any dimension, and you can have any angle you want, which is really, really nice. Then there's three type of rectangles. Three rectangles you actually might use. A 2-point rectangle. Very simple. Click your origin point. You can change any length. You can have a square too, not just a rectangle, because a square is a rectangle. 8 millimeters, 8 millimeters. That's how you can make a square. You can have any length. So 13, so which is a rectangle. So it's very nice. Then you can have and that's how you create a 2-point rectangle, by clicking where you want it or enter. Command Z is how you undo anything you want, or Control Z. If you want to remove specific lines, you press this shortcut, Trim. Or if you don't have it as a shortcut, click Modify into Trim. This trims any type of line, any curve, any type of line, straight or exponential, anything. Trim just by clicking the light. It highlights purple, and that means it's selected. So you click it, and it automatically deletes. So, and then a center rectangle, 2-point and center rectangles are either both of the lines are either perpendicular or parallel to this green line, or parallel to the red line, or perpendicular. So it does not have any angles. 12 millimeter a rectangle, and then if you want 14, you just click anywhere you want. And if you really don't like these diagonal lines across each of the diagonal points, you can just trim it, and you can cut it. And if you don't want this dimension, you can just escape from trim, click this, right click this. I recommend using a mouse in Fusion 360 and delete. It clears up a lot of room, so if you really like that, you can. And then let's just trim up these lines. It's good practice. Then the 3-point rectangle. This is very important if you want angled lines. So if you want a 10 millimeter rectangle width, you can have any length whatsoever. So instead of that, you can let's go with a 45 degree. And then you can have any type of length on that specific angle, which is very, very nice. So yeah, so you can have that, and then you can have anything. Then a circle. The real most important circle is the center diameter circle. Click your origin point and you can have any length you want. 24. You have a 24 millimeter circle and anything. That's also in your shortcut. The 2-point rectangle is in your shortcut. A line and a fit point spline, which we'll talk in a bit. You can add anything to the toolbar by 3 dots. If you want to add a 3-point rectangle to your toolbar, you click the 3 dots, pin to toolbar, you enter, and it should pop up here. Then the 2-point circle is very self-explanatory. 3-point circle is very self-explanatory. Let's go over the 2 tangent circle because some people might not know that. So if you want, so you gotta first make a line right here. So if you have that, you can have a 2 tangent circle, and then you have this. Wait, I gotta make another line. Okay, so any type of line. If you want a 2 tangent circle, you can click these 2 lines, and you have any type of circle that is tangent with these 2 lines. So which is really nice because you can do angles or have specific circles where you want it. This is the radius of the circle, so if you want the diameter, just double it. Then that also goes along with the 3 tangent circle. Just click 3 lines. Arc, 3-point arc is the most important arc, so I will just be teaching you that today. You have if you want a length of 10 millimeter arc, you just have that. And then any type of dimension. So click, and you can have as much of an arc as you want. And you can also do this at angles, so it doesn't have to be 90 degrees or 180 or flat. So you can have it, let's say you want that much of an arc, you can have that. So it's really, really nice if you want some curves in your sketch. So Command Z. Then polygon in circumscribed circle is a really nice circle. A really nice polygon shaper. So if you want a 11 millimeter in circumscribed polygon, the lines are a circumscribed. If you want the points, it's a inscribed. So if you want the line to be 11 millimeters from this origin point, 11, and then tab over, and that's how you change your which selection box you are going to be doing. You can have a four length side, four side polygon, which is square or rectangle. You can have a 6-sided, 7-sided, 12-sided. You can have 100-sided, which is very close to a circle. If you zoom in, you can see where the lines are, which is really cool. So you can have anything you want. Then the inscribed circle is to the point, like I mentioned before. So that's to the point. So if you want the origin point to the point to be 15 millimeters, and you want it to be a pentagon, you can have it. And that's how you make a pentagon with a 15 millimeters from the origin point to a point. Any point. Then you have the ellipse. This is like basically a circle. So you could have a circle. So 30, that's a circle by 30. But you can have it, which is really cool, is that you can have like ovals and stuff. So this is how you do it. Then it's if you get all of these polygons, you can probably get the ellipse and all of these. A slot, a center to center slot is the most common slot. So I will be just going over that. If you want the length between your points to be 10 millimeters, you want it to be pretty even, you can have it. So a slot is a rectangle from this point to this point, and two semicircles on either side of it. So if you want this, the diameter of that semicircle to be 2 millimeters, you can have it. And this is 10 millimeters, as I said, and 2 millimeters. So which is really nice if you're trying to make it more clean cut. This works with like anything really. So which is really nice to learn. Then you have a spline. A control point spline is really nice, so I'll be going over that. So spline. Okay, so if you want a spline to be like this, you have a control point, so you know exactly where it is. So this goes with all the curves match with each point, so you can keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. So yeah, which is nice. Then you have a conic curve, which is kind of an arc, but you can choose where you want the arc, if that makes sense. So if you want the arc to be there, you can also change the length of the arc through here, through this arrow, or change it manually. Then, which is a very cool thing and very handy, you can choose where you want a point to be. So you can just point, 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 point. It's very, very great if you want, there's a very, very specific point you need to have in a sketch, you can just create one. Then, a text feature, which is really nice. So wait, I'll actually just create a spline. So yeah, so if you can drag and there's this check mark, just click it and you'll be done. So a text box, and then you can have any like space you want. So if you want it to be that big, you can have it that big, okay? And then you can have it any size you want of the thing. So you can have it 13 millimeter. That just changes the height of the font. So which is you can adjust your needs. So and then you can have a, let's go sketch Fusion 360. And if you want it along a path, it's very nice because you can just select the path and the Fusion Sketch Fusion, I know it's spelled wrong, Sketch Fusion 360 will appear on that path. So, which is nice. So then that's about it for the creating. This if is handy, but it's not very common in use. And then a modify is very nice. So let's create. So since you already know what trim is, I will not be going over that. Let's create a nice random rectangle. So let's do a fillet. Between these two lines, you can you click these two lines. If you want a fillet between that, you can change how much of a curve you want, which is really, really nice. If you want like a clean cut and you want it to be as less sketch as possible, or it covers as less space as possible. So if you want it to be that much, you can have it. And this is tangent. This line is tangent to this both of these curves. Then a chamfer is the exact same thing as a fillet, but it is a non-curved. It is not curved. So if you want it to have a 5 millimeter chamfer, this line from this point to this point is 5 millimeters. So if I enter, you can see 5 millimeters and 5 millimeters. There's different types of chamfers if you really want it. Trim, extend. You can extend this line for however you want it to be. And it automatically does it. So it gets you back lines. Then to break it, you can break a line wherever you want it to be. So now these two are separate lines. If you want this line to break, in that exact point, so this is not a solid line, click that line and it breaks into two separate things. Then you can do that. And then a sketch scale, so you can like, if it's way too small, you can click the point and you can extend that line as much as you want, having all the lines be the same value. Not many people will use that. So an offset is this, and then you can have a 1 millimeter offset. So you can do that, and you can have the exact same lines, just 1 millimeter between them, which is really nice. So yep, and that's all you need to know on sketching. These are very uh, non-usage. I don't use them at all, really. And then to inspect is measuring, which is really nice. So you can measure how long this line is, which is 10.375 millimeters. So if you want to know if the dimensions are correct, use this tool. And yeah, that's how you create a sketch, which is really nice. And that's all it is for now. And I'll see you in the next video.